Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Oban Airport, also known as North Connell on the west coast of Scotland. And I'm very excited to bring something new to you today, and a huge thank you to Parallel 42 for giving me the opportunity to talk about what really is a very clever tool. In its most basic form, it replaces the clunky menu bar that you see at the top of the screen when you're in the simulator, but it can also do so much more than that, and I'm really excited to be able to go through that with you today. I'll keep it as short as possible and really just get to what you want to know, which is the interesting facts about how it works. But we're going to do a nice little flight up here as well, so I can show you some of the features. So what is interesting about what Parallel 42 have done is they've taken us away from this kind of clunky way of doing it. And if I reach over and press my button, we now have flow. Flow is a nice wheel design that we can move around. We can also, if we pop up into here, we can change the size of it as well. So I'll take it back down to 100% and then come out of that. And then if I press my button again, you can see that's it in its normal size. There are different flavors of flow. As this is configured at the moment, this would be what the free version looks like. So really it's just mimicking what's in my menu bar up here, and quite sensibly it disables that. So if I go back up to here, you can kind of see that most of what I have in here is appearing in my flow menu bar here, including the rather excellent Parallel 42 campout. So if you get the free one, that's really what you're going to be looking at, really. There's also the Essentials version, which comes with some of the kind of pre-designed best tools that Parallel 42 have got. And then there's the Pro version, which if you're really clever, you can do additional things in. So I'm going to go through this and try and point out as much as possible what you're going to get in the different versions. But essentially, if you're getting the free version, this is what you're going to get. And some of the things I'm going to talk about now, you're only going to get if it's Essentials or Pro. So please do bear that in mind. Incidentally, these are going to be available on Orbx. Okay, so where to start? So here's a good example. If I click on this, we go into the editor. Now you can see over here we've got some additional things that we've also got over here. We've got weather and we've got cameras. So let's add the weather widget and let's add the cameras widget and come out of that. So we click on that and that gives us our bog standard weight and balance for fuel and all that kind of thing. So you can see that's bringing up a default Microsoft Flight Simulator menu. Let's bring you back down here. If I click on weather, same thing. It's giving us this default weather menu that we get with Microsoft Flight Simulator. However, I click on this, I get the Parallel 42 weather. Now, straight away, you can see, and this is what I love about Parallel 42, everything that they do, they think about it and they create something that visually makes so much sense and is also a bit simpler. So straight away, clicking on that, we can see what our wind speed is and we can see where it's coming from. We can see what our temperature is. We can see what our barometric pressure is here at the moment. We can visually see what direction the wind is coming from and the intensity of it. And we can see what we've got as a preset. If I click on this now, we can straight away select live weather. You can see the wind has changed in terms of the direction, and you can see that it's injected the current live weather into the sim. What else can we look at? You can also search. So if I search by rain, it will come up with anything that you've got in your presets that has rain on it. And now we have rain. And as you can see, this is all moved round with the wind. You can also, if I take that search term out, you can also randomize it. So you can just go with whatever you're stuck with. This is Parallel 42 Camp Crystal Lake. If you caught that Halloween special on the channel, and also if you had their scenery, you'll know what this is about, but that's spooky scenery. What else can we get? We've got a windy. This is a preset I've got from flightsim.to. We've got windy preset, and you can see the intensity of the wind and the direction is really clearly demonstrated on there. So let's go back to where I was before, which was high level clouds. So that's how the weather is working. It's just a very simple way of quickly moving around presets, and in a really nice visual kind of way. Cameras again. Let's just quickly look at that. That's the Microsoft Flight Simulator camera menu that you're used to. I use it when I'm making videos, but when I'm flying, I tend not to use it. But that's kind of where we are with that. If we go back to the flow menu, it's giving us a much easier way of quickly moving around all our different views, and also you kind of get a better idea of just how many views you've got just because it is so it's so kind of intuitive and you know, easily listed there. So that's an example of where with these widgets that you're getting with the Essentials and Pro version, you are seeing you know, you're seeing things in a different way, in a more visually pleasing way, and also in a way that's kind of easier to work with as well. And then we've got all our normal bits and pieces here as well. So let's add some more things in. In the editor here, you can see that we've now got, I should say, we've got static pages, which apply to all aircraft. It doesn't matter what aircraft you jump into, the static pages that you can add things to. And Edson, who is one of the developers, I saw he had compared it to, imagine this is an iPhone where you have lots of different menu pages, you know, as you're scrolling through your phone menu pages or your phone screens. This is kind of how that works. So now we've got page 2 and we can add some other bits and pieces onto it. So let's, for example, add time. If we now come out of that and we click on time, we've now got the ability to change the time, but in a really, let's come out, let's try and get it, there we go, in a much more defined way than you can really in the Microsoft Flight Simulator menu. So if we grab that and we move it, you can see by the shadows how just by using slight movements, we're changing the time. You can see how the light is changing. Now also it's giving us, with these shaded areas, it's giving us the kind of dawn dusk time frame as well. You can see, because we're in the north of Scotland, how at this time of year also the daylight hours are pretty slim. Something we can also do is lock the time here. So if you love this light that you've got right now and you don't want it to change, it could be you want to fly like that. It could be because you're doing screenshots. If you're like me, I spend a ridiculous amount of time doing kind of virtual photo shoots, and this enables you to lock that time. So we're going to move that there. Right, so what else have we got? Let's see what else we can add to this. We've got the tutorial, which you can do if you want, if you haven't done that already. Folder. If we add folder here, folder you can add, well, it's kind of what it says on the can, really. Say, for example, you wanted to add all your, let's see, a good example, you wanted like a lights folder. You can add these into your folder. I'm just playing with this so you kind of get the idea. So now if we go into, let's come out of that. So here we have our screen 1, which we've been using. Here we have our or wheel 1. Now we're on to wheel 2. We've got our time that we talked about before, and now we have a folder. If I click on the folder, that gives us all these different options in one compact place. And as you can probably tell, what this means is now that we can change our, I haven't got the battery on, so it's probably not going to work, but you can switch your landing lights on, your taxi lights, your nav lights, whatever you want. Now, don't forget, this is a folder within the main screen. You can also do it per aircraft as well, which is what we'll talk about now, if we come back out of that. If I scoot, you can see these are white. If I scoot over here to the blue, and it's got the name of the aircraft here, these are what's called dynamic wheels. And what this will do is give you specific commands that you want for that aircraft. So you can add those in, and those will only appear when you're flying that particular aircraft, which again is damn clever. Let's come back over to our normal page, or our second wheel. And I'm going to click on that, and we're going to add portal. Portal is really cool. If I click on portal and bring it over here, what this is doing is giving us a map, but it's giving us so much more. If I zoom in, you can see it's giving us our parking spaces as well. Let's say we are where we are here, and we want to be in a parking space over there. We click on it, it tells us what it is, we go, and now we're on that parking space. So you can see, if I just move around, it's zoomed us, what a stupid word to use. It has teleported us over to that parking space. So let's just move back to kind of where we were before. Put us there. Was that where we were before? No, I don't think so. We were more. I'll put us here. So we'll go back to over here. That's kind of what, close to where we were. So that's really cool. You can also use it to find a friend. None of my friends are online at the moment, but say you, for example, you had a mate who was flying somewhere, you can find them, and then you can teleport to them. We can go to a whole new airport. That's interesting. I'm discovering this at the same time as you. Oh, we've got a helipad over there. That's why that's showing up. So we could, let's go to Lossiemouth. So, for example, we could have a mate here up at Lossiemouth, and we're thinking, do you know what? I'm going to go and see them. So this is gate 20 at Lossiemouth. And look at that also, if you go over to your the airfield that you're looking at, it will tell you the wind speed and the direction that it's coming from, which is, again, is pretty cool, because then it's just giving you an idea. For example, if you were flying there and you wanted to see what the wind speed was and the direction, and you didn't have another way of doing it, this will now give you that option. And we're just going to wait for the scenery to load, because of course when you teleport you've got to allow all the scenery to load up. So here we are at RAF Lossiemouth. I think the scenery is still loading in a little bit by the looks of it, but you get the idea. That will gradually start to load in, and thanks to my very slow internet that might take a while. But you see how easy it is from within the actual sim itself, without going out of the sim into the main menu. You see how easy it is to move around, and that's one of the really clever additional features that you know, this now gives us. So let's pop back in to North Connell, and we will go back there. And again, we have to wait for the scenery to load in. So that's a really clever feature, and it's one of those things that makes life a little bit easier in the sim. Oh, everything's bumping around. It's one of those little things that makes life a lot easier in the sim, and it's a nice little feature that they have packaged into it. You can also add your favourite airports. So, for example, here we are at Oban. I'm going to add that, and that will now always appear in my favourite airports list. And we can even see here someone is flying around. If I look, there we go. Deviloff, welcome to my video. You are now in it. You can see him flying around on the map as well. Brilliant. Lovely little feature that. Very excited about that. Okay, let's bring up again. Oh, come back. So what else can we add? Let's add our position. Get your current position to share with friends. So let's come out of that. So we quickly go onto there, and this will tell us, a little bit like with Portal, exactly where we are. So we can share that with our mates, so we can let them know where we are. What else have we got? I'm trying to think of things. So these really are all things that you're going to see with the Essentials version, and that's really what I'm kind of trying to show you at this stage. If we now, oh, and of course you've got all these bits and bobs down here, all these additional things. This is what I wanted to show you. So let's add these doors, not the band. Absolutely excellent band, actually, thinking about it. Oh, we've got someone coming to say hello. It's amazing with this simulator, isn't it? How sociable some people can be. So anyway, let's pop round here, and I want to show you this. So we added the doors button. If I now click on it, it's opening the door, which is a pretty neat feature. So if you don't want to do that from within the cockpit, you don't want to tap on the actual doors themselves, or if you're like we are here in an external view where you can't necessarily do that, then you have the ability to change those. So what else can we play with? It's just incredible. There's so much here to show you, or so many different features to it. You can change your position. You can reset the orientation. You can change the altitude. You can fuel up if you need to add some fuel. If you're caught short and you're flying along, just as you can with the Microsoft menu, you can add fuel using this. You can change the sim rate. You can have sim rate buttons on here. You can also have other control set up here. Now, there was just something I remembered. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay, let's exit the editor and let's reset that. So, say for example you wanted to see your control inputs. You've got the ability to do that now with this widget. As I move my joystick and my rudder, you can see those moving in there as well. If I now add acceleration visualizer, this is going to be not really going to be able to show that because we're not moving, but that will show you the acceleration in the axis that you're actually moving in. We'll probably use that when we fly. And then over here we have the winds visualizer, which again will show you the effect of the winds on the aircraft. So we're going to use those as we actually fly, because that's just a cool little visual tool there. And honestly, there is just so much in here. Autopilot, we can add autopilot functions onto here as well. So if you want to, again, a really easy way of controlling the autopilot from Flow, you can do. There's just so much in here. It's just absolutely crazy. Here also you can, instead of just using the weather widget that we had up here, you can also then actually have individual presets assigned to the wheel as well. So it's just another way of doing your weather. Game servers. Let's go to a new wheel. So here's a really good example. I usually fly on the West Europe server, so we can pop that there. Say, for example, I was going to the West Coast USA and I wanted to fly with people who were from there. It's as easy as clicking that. And now I've changed over onto the Western USA server. No coming out of the sim, no messing about with that. You just do it as simple as that with a click within the wheel. So let's go back onto Western Europe. Now, something I can't show you because I'm not a Twitch streamer. My internet speed is so atrociously slow that I can't stream on Twitch, which is probably a good thing for you people. But there will come a time when I will, once OpenReach sort my internet speed out or upgrade our area. But there are all sorts of things that you can do if you have the Pro version to do with Twitch. And that will give you the ability to add things like ATC bots, chat overlay. You could have the Twitch chat going on here. And with the Pro version, you can also add scripts. Now, really using JavaScript. Script is something I've never done. I'm being completely honest with you. I haven't got a clue how to script. I'm just the idiot who flies this stuff. But check and run scripts when clicking this tile. So I guess create and run scripts. So I guess you need another way of doing that, which I don't have. I guess something would be popping up. But what you can do with the Pro version is create scripts and also load in scripts that will enable you to the sky's the limit. If you can program it, you can do it, and you can import these into here. So for example, if you're a Twitch streamer, you can add different scripts to do different things. You could have people, for example, typing a command in your chat, which then has an impact on what happens in the sim. They could drop your gear. They could raise your gear as you're coming into land, and so that presents you with an emergency. All different things like that. I'll put a link down below. Two Turn Murphy did a fantastic stream, which Edson joined in on, and they talk a lot in there about what you can do on Twitch. So I'll put a link to that down below, and that will give you an idea of what you can do there. So as you can see, it's pretty damn cool. There is so much that you can do, so much that you can add to it, and that you can play with it. So let's go for a quick flight now and see how different things apply in VR. Okay, let's say we very quickly want to see what the weather's doing. We can quickly go into here and we can see that we've got a 3-knot wind coming from 270. We've got a really nice visual indication here of where it's coming from. So that's great. That's going to give us a crosswind for takeoff. It doesn't really matter based on that what direction we take for the runway, because the wind's going to affect us anyway. So what I'm now going to do is we're going to pop these little windows up now so you can have a look and you can see how things go as we fly. So let's just get rid of the flow for a moment, and you can see those are going to stay up there. See the acceleration indicator changing there. So we're just going to taxi onto the runway and then backtrack. I've got multiplayer on, but there's no one around. I'm keeping the I don't normally have the nameplates up, but I'm keeping them up just in case, because I don't want to get in anyone's way messing about doing this. Sometimes it's hard to visualize from a distance, so let's just bring around. There's Devil off landed now. Let's try and there we go. Okay. Right, let's get some power on. Mixture rich, prop fully forward, everything's tickety-boo. And we're up. Now the interesting thing is you can see on the winds display there how the crosswind is affecting the aeroplane. So we've got a 4-knot crosswind, and you can see that effect over there. And as I move the flight controls, you can see how they're being affected as well. So that's just a cool little visualization, really useful in helicopters actually, where you have to work the controls like a complete nutter to keep the aircraft on an even keel. So that's really useful there. So we're flying, and you know, this is great. Right, okay, let's look at another cool little feature of this. So we have our wheel. Let's say, for example, something that you're going to be using maybe a lot of, perhaps say for example the portal. You want to keep that handy, but you don't want it stuck in the middle of the screen. If we drag it over to the edge, it changes to that little icon. So as we're flying around, it's not getting in our way, but if we really quickly want to get back to it, we don't even, and let's face it, the flow wheel system is pretty intuitive, pretty easy anyway. We can just click on that, bring it over, and we've got it back again. That's really simple and really clever, and a good example of what Parallel 42 can do. I really like that. So that means that the bits and pieces that you use the most, you just leave it there. Really good. Okay, let's look at some more cool features, and these are for the Pro version. So let's bring our wheel back up. We're going to edit this, so we're going to come back, left click on that, and if we go down to I think it's utilities, there we go. So we'll add auto there, TOD there, and what else? Let's add the wiki in as well on that one. Okay, let's come out of the editor. Let's look at this one first. So if I type into auto search bar LL, it comes up with all our options here. So it's an easy way of finding bits and pieces that we're looking for. So let's come out of that. Top of descent. So top of descent, an easy way to calculate our top of descent as we're coming in. So let's say we want to know the top of descent for North Connell, EGEO. So it's saying descend 6 nautical miles from EGEO, 3 nautical miles ago from 4,969 feet at 1,500 feet per minute. What I think it is because I'm asking it to give us a top of descent when we are right overhead the airfield, which is a little bit silly. So, oh, I know what we can do. Let's bring around, and I'm going to, there's a nearby airstrip, Glensander, which is EGYS. And let's see what it gives us for that. So again, I'm going to, we'll get us pointing in the right direction for a start. I was wondering if the ago was actually short for something, but I think it literally does mean ago, and it's because I was, you know, why would you ask for a top of descent when you're right over the blooming airfield? That's pretty damn stupid. So we're asking it to do something stupid, so it's saying that's stupid. So let's just get us nice even out. Right, so we'll do that again. Top of descent, and we want EGYS. There we go, and quite sensibly it's saying descend 4 nautical miles from EGYS, and it's telling us in 5 nautical miles from 4,370 feet at 1,500 feet per minute. So we've asked it a perfectly sensible question this time, and it's given us a perfectly sensible answer. So again, a really quick and easy way of getting your top of descent, which is kind of cool. Let's have a look at a METAR. Let's see, I doubt, let's see if North Connell's got a METAR. No. So we'll pick an obvious one, Heathrow. And there we get our METAR for Heathrow. Again, a very quick way of getting hold of that. I've also got the METAR Viewer app, and that's going to bring that one up if we want something in more detail, I guess. So that's pretty cool. What else have we got? Let's bring the wheel back up. We have, what did I do there? We looked at that, we looked at that, we looked at that. Wikipedia. Not use this one. Let's see what it does. So, oh, it even has pictures. Look at that. Amazing. So you can search Wikipedia from within the sim. That is just amazing. That is just amazing. Wow. Okay, what other things have we got? I don't want to miss anything out, but there really is just so much to do. If you've got the Pro version, you can add a calculator. All sorts of cool things. There's Twitch, which we've talked about, utilities, which we've talked about, HUD, which we've talked about, doors, which we've talked about, lights, instruments. Again, these are just ways you can add buttons, so you can turn your pitot heat on and off if you want to. All these kind of little things that you might have key presses for, but you can actually set them up now as things on the wheel. Yeah, a whole load of stuff there. Whole load of stuff there. And the exciting thing is, with the Pro version as well, people will program widgets, then they can be shared on flightsim.to. And even if, like me, who you haven't got the slightest idea how to do script, I can add things to this now, because people who are a lot cleverer than I am will create these scripts, and then I can download them. And that's pretty cool as well. So even if you don't write script, by having the Pro version, you can add to it in the future by having these other cool things. So there you go. I think I've covered as much as I can, not being able to do the Twitch part of it, but as you can see, a whole load of additional things you get by going for the Essentials version, and also by going for the Pro version if you're clever enough to use it. So just to recap, I think for me, as someone who doesn't like menus, I think for people that do use menus, obviously this is a great way of revolutionizing what you have. It really does just knock that out of the park, if we're honest. And that reminds me, something that I do need to do is let's get rid of the default toolbar so that we never see that again. That's now gone. Oh no, it's still there. What did we do wrong? Let's have a look. Interface. Okay, some mods might prevent this feature from working properly. So it's possible that because of some other bits that I've got in here, maybe one of these apps that I've added to there, that's stopping it from doing it. That will only really work if you haven't already got some other bits and pieces in there by the looks of it, and that's what's stopping that from working for me. So if I move my mouse up there, I'm still going to see that, but hey, I never use the damn thing anyway, so so what? Okay, well, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope this was of interest to you. Definitely check out Two Tone Murphy to see how this works in Twitch if you're interested in that. I hope you found it was useful, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.